University Challenge. Asking the questions, Jeremy Paxman.
Hello. By the end of tonight's match, we'll know the first of the 4 teams who'll be competing in the semi-finals. Both teams playing for that place already have one quarter-final victory behind them, so whoever wins tonight will qualify automatically, while the losers will get one final chance to do so. The team from Trinity College, Cambridge have had an impressive run so far, dispatching Christchurch, Oxford in round 1 and earning themselves the highest score in the round at the same time. Peterhouse, Cambridge fell next, followed by the reigning champions Manchester University, whom they beat by 285 points to 205 in their first quarter-final. Let's see if they can match that tonight and meet them again.
Hi, I'm Matthew Ridley. I'm from Northumberland and I'm studying economics.
Hi, I'm Filip Zorka from Slovenia and I'm studying natural sciences.
And their captain?
Hello, I'm Ralph Morley. I'm from Ashford in Kent and I'm studying classics.
Hello, I'm Richard Freeland. I'm from Cowbridge in Glamorgan and I'm studying mathematics.
The team from the London School of Oriental and African Studies have also 3 victories behind them, having toppled the University of Southampton in round 1, Reading University in round 2 and Cardiff in their first quarter-final match, whom they beat by 200 points to 90. Let's meet the SOAS team again.
Hello, my name's Maeve Weber. I'm from Nebworth in Hertfordshire and I'm reading for a BA in Ancient Near East Studies.
Hello, my name is Luke Vivian Neal. I'm from Lusaka in Zambia and I study Chinese.
And the SOAS captain?
Hi, I'm Peter McKean. I'm from Wallington in South London and I'm studying for an MA in African History.
I'm James Figaro from Surrey and I'm reading African Studies and Development Studies.
Right, you all know the rules, so fingers on the buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10. Solidarity and Progress, Workers' Struggle and Europe Ecology are among the English names of parties that fielded candidates in which...
SOAS McKean.
Poland?
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. In which country's 2012 presidential election all failed to reach the second round, which was won by the Social...
Trinity Ridley.
France.
France is correct, yes. So, Trinity, you get the first set of bonuses. They're on Russian visitors to London. Firstly, for 5 points, which Tsar stayed in London for 3 months in 1698 at the age of 26 in a house lent to him by John Evelyn, during which time he was tutored by Edmund Halley?
1696. Peter the Great.
Yeah, Peter the Great?
Correct. Designed by Bertold Lubetkin, the housing project Bevin Court on Cruikshank Street in London was intended at one time to be named after which Soviet leader who'd briefly occupied a house on the site?
Bevin Court, Soviet leader.
I don't know. Just name.
Trotsky?
No, it was Lenin. And finally, 2011 saw the unveiling of a statue of which former foundry worker outside the British Council's London headquarters, where crowds had cheered him exactly 50 years earlier.
Khrushchev? Yeah, I think I would guess.
Khrushchev?
That was Yuri Gagarin, the astronaut. 10 points for this. The idiosyncratic metre known as sprung rhythm is especially associated with which poet? Received into the Roman Catholic Church in 1866, his works include The Wreck of the Deutschland and Pied Beauty.
SOAS Weber.
Gerard Manley Hopkins.
Correct. Your bonuses are on writers, SOAS, who completed only one novel during their lifetime. In each case, name both the novel and its author. Firstly, for 5, written under the pseudonym Victoria Lucas, which novel describes the breakdown of Esther Greenwood? It was first published in 1963, a month before the suicide of its author.
Sylvia Plath.
The Bell Jar, Sylvia Plath.
Correct. Described as a Sicilian gone with the wind, which novel concerns an aristocratic family during the unification of Italy? It was published in 1958, a year after the death of its author.
Nominate Vivian Neal.
Is it The Leopard by Lampedusa?
It is indeed. And finally, the events of which novel span the end of Tsarist Russia and the early years of the Soviet Union. First published in Italy in 1957, its author was acclaimed in Russia as a poet.
Dr. Zhivago and Boris Pasternak.
Correct. 10 points for this. Listen carefully to the quotation and the question that follows. Our character lies for hundreds of millions of years bound to 3 atoms of oxygen and 1 of calcium. These words of Primo Levi begin a prose poem dedicated to which chemical element?
Trinity Darnojek Zorko.
Calcium.
Anyone like to buzz from SOAS? It's carbon. Too late. 10 points for this. Developed by Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger, which app allows users of mobile phones to take pictures that can then be shared on social network sites? It became a $1 billion...
Trinity Darnojek Zorko.
Instagram.
Correct. But your bonuses are on the US Space Shuttle program. Firstly, for 5 points, each Space Shuttle mission was officially designated with the prefix STS. For what do those letters stand?
Space travel.
Space transport system.
Space transport system.
Space Transportation System. So technically, I'm afraid I can't give it to you. STS-30, launched in May 1989, carried the Magellan probe that between 1990 and 94 conducted the radar mapping of the surface of which planet of the solar system?
Is that Venus? Or am I making that up?
Venus.
Correct. STS-135, the final flight of the programme, was launched in July 2011, when which shuttle undertook a mission to the International Space Station?
Is it Discovery?
I was going to say Columbia. Is Columbia?
No, Columbia blew up in 2003.
Oh, so it did.
I'm going to say Discovery.
Okay, go for Discovery.
Discovery?
No, that had just finished operating, actually. It was Atlantis. Right, we're going to take another starter question now. Taken from Book 1, entitled Admonitions Profitable for the Spiritual Life, the declaration that man proposes, but God disposes, comes from which 15th century devotional work by Thomas à Kempis?
SOAS McKean.
The Imitation of Christ.
Correct. You get a set of bonuses, this time, SOAS, on a London building. The building and surrounding park of which Middlesex house were described by Sir John Betjeman as the Grand Architectural Walk? Standing on the site of a medieval abbey, the house is named after a peak in Jerusalem.
Zion House.
Correct. Following the abbey's dissolution, the estate passed to which duke, the Lord Protector of Edward VI? He built Zion House in the Italian Renaissance style.
Somerset.
Correct, the Duke of Somerset. And finally, Zion House has been described as the finest surviving evidence of the innovative use of colour by which 18th century Scottish architect who remodelled the interior?
Nash.
No, it's Robert Adam. We're going to take a picture round. For your picture starter, you'll see a map marking the sites of major battles that took place in a series of wars. For 10 points, give the name by which the wars are generally known.
Trinity Darnojek Zorko.
The Napoleonic Wars.
Correct. Your bonuses are 3 more maps marking land and sea battles that took place during a war in which France was crucially involved. In each case, I want the name of the war and the French ruler at that time. Okay. Firstly, for 5.
There's one in the UK.
I think that could be Battle of Barfleur in 1692, so that's Louis XIV. And could that be War of the Spanish?
No, that's the 9 Years' War.
No, okay. The 9 Years' War and Louis XIV.
No, it's the Louis XIV, the War of the Spanish Succession.
Oh, sorry.
And secondly, this ruler and war.
Where is that?
Well, that's the Crimean War, and it would be...
so that's the 18th...
So that would be Napoleon III. Because there was a Baltic campaign. The Crimean War and Napoleon III.
Correct. And finally...
Is it the 7 Years' War?
No. That's...
is that the American War of
Yes, it could be. And then who's... Louis XV?
Louis... was it the 16th already?
Louis XVI and the American War of Independence.
Correct, yes. Well done. 10 points for this starter question. After a type of shell, what 8-letter noun denotes a plane curve consisting of 2 branches situated...
Trinity Freeland.
A conchoid.
Conchoid is correct, yes. So your bonuses this time, Trinity College, are on photography. What 2-word French term denotes a photograph taken with the sun directly behind the subject, making it a silhouette against the light source?
Is it going to be some,
It's going to be
something soleil? Sol, whatever the French for sun is.
Vers soleil.
No, it's contre-jour. Secondly, using a shallow depth of field gives a blurred image that has come to be described with what 5-letter word originating from Japanese?
No.
Heigi.
That's bokeh. And finally, which technique involves slowing the shutter speed and following a moving subject as it passes in front of the camera, giving it more focus than the background?
Anyone know? Pass.
It's panning, or pan. 10 points for this. What 2-word term gave the Russian sociologist Pitirim Sorokin the title of his 1927 study of the dynamics of inequality and refers to the extent to which an individual's status can change over a lifetime or between generations?
Trinity Ridley.
Social mobility.
Correct. Trinity College, your bonuses are on songbirds in the words of the RSPB website. In each case, give the common name from the description. Firstly, Erythacus rubecula sing nearly all year round, and despite their cute appearance, they're aggressively territorial and are quick to drive away intruders. They'll sing at night next to streetlights.
Erythacus rubecula, Greek and Latin, I think that's robin for red.
Yeah, I was going to go robin as well.
Robin.
Correct. Phoenicurus phoenicurus, identifiable by their bright orange-red tails, which they often quiver. They bob in a robin-like manner, but spend little time at ground level.
It's going to be one of the finches, bullfinch or chaffinch, possibly. Or, or is it like something like a field? Chaffinch?
No, it's the red start. And finally, Luscinia megarincos, slightly larger than robins with a rather plain brown appearance. The famous song is indeed of high quality, with a fast succession of high, low and rich notes that few other species can match.
Nightingale?
Yes, 10 points for this. What duration in hours links the Swiss-American artist Christian Marclay's 2010 installation The Clock and 1993 work by the Scottish artist Douglas Gordon, based on Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, and a 2002 film about the music community in Manchester?
SOS McKean.
24 hours.
24 hours is correct, yes. Right, these bonuses are on modern feminist works, SOAS. The New Feminism in 1998 and Living Dolls, The Return of Sexism in 2009 are among the works of which English author?
She's not English. She's Australian. She's Australian. Yeah, no. Could she be English? Would she be described as English?
Pass.
They're by Natasha Walter. Secondly, in her 2005 work, Female Chauvinist Pigs, which US author argues that a so-called raunch culture cannot be viewed as a form of women's liberation?
No, sorry.
That's Ariel Levy. And finally, claiming that modern feminism has become the victim of an unenlightened complacency, which Australian writer and academic published The Whole Woman in 1999, her sequel to a seminal text of 1970.
That's Germaine Greer.
It is Germaine Greer, yes. Seems to be the only feminist you've heard of over there. Right, we're going to take a music round now. You're going to hear a piece of classical music for your starter, and 10 points. All you have to do is name the Russian composer.
Trinity Freeland.
Shostakovich.
Yes, it is. Well done. That was his waltz number 2. Your bonus is 3 pieces of classical music from composers not often associated with waltzes. 5 points for each composer you can name. First, this Nordic composer.
Sibelius in Greek.
Sibelius in Greek.
Yes, Grieg.
No, it was Sibelius. It's his Valse Triste. Secondly, this American composer.
Just because it's a piano.
George Gershwin.
It was. 2 waltzes in C. And finally, this French composer.
Sanson.
No, it's Ravel. 10 points for this. Listen carefully. In radians per second, what is the angular frequency of a simple pendulum of length 10 centimetres oscillating under the influence of gravity if the acceleration due to gravity is 10 metres per second squared?
Trinity Freeland.
1/10.
Anyone like to bust some SOAS?
SOAS McKean.
A half.
No, it's 10. 10 points for this. Some of the tallest sand dunes in the world are found in which coastal desert lying between the
SOAS McKean.
Namib.
Namib is correct, yes. Right, your bonuses this time are on pairs of words in which the first and second vowels are transposed. In each case, listen to the definitions and spell both words. Firstly, the seed of the leguminous plant Lens culinaris, cultivated for food, and horizontal piece of timber or stone over a door or window.
So lentil, L-E-N-T-I-L, and lintel, L-I-N-T-E-L.
Correct. Particles of pigment, secondly, used to produce the image in a photocopy, and adult male voice above the baritone.
Tenor and toner.
Yeah. That's tenor, T-E-N-O-R, and toner, T-O-N-E-R.
Correct. And finally, hard calcareous substance made up of the continuous skeleton secreted by marine coelenterate polyps and hymn or song of joy.
Coral and carol, C-O-R-A-L, C-A-R-O-L.
Well done. 10 points for this. The Sad Fortunes of the Reverend Amos Barton, Mr. Gilfil's Love Story and Janet's Repentance are 3 stories by George Eliot that first appeared serially in Blackwood's magazine. What was the name of the volume that comprised...
SOAS Weber.
Middlemarch?
No, I'm afraid you lose 5 points. What was the name of the volume that comprised all 3 tales? I'll tell you, it's Scenes of Clerical Life. 10 points for this. In meteorology and oceanography, what action gives rise to the Coriolis force, which contributes...
Trinity Darnoshik Zorko.
The rotation of the Earth.
Yes. These bonuses, Trinity College, are on glands. What collective name is given to those glands in the human body that secrete hormones directly into the bloodstream?
Okay, hang on. That is endocrine.
Endocrine.
Correct. Located below the larynx, which endocrine gland secretes hormones vital to metabolism and growth?
Thyroid.
Correct. The adrenal glands are small endocrine glands located immediately above which organs of the body?
Kidney.
Correct. 10 points for this. Examples including New Zealand, Tuvalu and Barbados. What precise 2-word term?
Trinity Morley.
Commonwealth realm.
Well done. Right, these bonuses, Trinity College, are on ancient empires. The Achaemenid Empire, founded in the early 6th century BC, had its palaces at Pasargadae, Susa and Persepolis, sites in which present-day Middle Eastern country?
Iran.
Correct. Extending from Asia Minor to India, which empire was named after one of Alexander the Great's generals, who created it from the remains of the Macedonian Empire?
Seleucid.
Correct. Also known as the Arsacid Empire, which empire ruled Persia from the 3rd century BC?
Parthian.
Correct. 10 points for this. A commercially prosperous state during the 17th century, the historical region of Courland is today part of which EU member state?
SOAS McKean.
Poland.
Anyone like to bust some Trinity?
Trinity Ridley.
Lithuania.
No, it's Latvia. 10 points for this. Which artist painted Woman with a Hat, displayed at the Salon d'Automne in 1905 in the exhibition that launched the artistic movement that has come to be known as Fauvism?
Trinity Darnoshik Zorko.
Matisse.
Matisse is correct, yes. Bonuses this time on indigenous peoples. Associated with regions such as Araucania, the Mapuche are an indigenous people principally concentrated in which South American country?
Is it Paraguay? I think we have.
I have no.
Paraguay?
No, it's Chile. Meaning of earliest times and inhabitant, Adivasi is an umbrella term for the indigenous peoples of which large Asian country?
India, maybe? It's large and Asian.
India?
Correct. Orang Asli is a collective term for the indigenous peoples of which country?
Orang. So that's Indonesia.
Yeah, Indonesia.
No, it's Malaysia. We're going to take a second picture round now. For your picture starter, you'll see a painting. All you have to do to get 10 points is to give me the name of the artist.
Trinity Tornoshek Zorko.
Van Eyck.
Van Eyck, the Arnolfini marriage, yes. Picture bonuses, 3 more notable paintings of couples. In each case, I want you to name the artist. Firstly.
Is that Gainsborough?
Gainsborough, he's just said. Does that sound plausible?
I think Gainsborough.
It is Mr. and Mrs. Andrews by him. Secondly.
Oh, it's American.
Grant Wood.
Grant Wood.
American Gothic, yes. And finally.
That's Ford Madox Brown. Ford Madox Brown.
The last of England, indeed. 10 points for this. Awarded the 2004 Pulitzer Prize for Drama, which play by Doug Wright follows the true story of Charlotte von Mahlsdorf, an East Berlin transvestite curator and antiquarian?
SOAS Vivian Neal.
Hedwig and the Angry Inch?
No. No. Any idea at Trinity College? No, it's I Am My Own Wife. 10 points for this. Which country has a population of only 400,000 but has the highest population density of any EU member state?
Trinity Morley.
Malta.
Malta is correct, yes. These bonuses, Trinity College, are on misleading culinary names. Firstly, which Scottish dish consists of buttered toast spread with anchovy paste and scrambled egg, but does not contain the game bird that appears in its name?
Did you have an answer?
Do you have a... pass.
It's Scotch woodcock. Secondly, a translation of the German Calte Ente, which 2-word name denotes a fizzy concoction of Burgundy and Champagne.
Called something. Cold Ente. What might Ente mean?
Cold sweat, I think.
I don't know, just guess something.
Cold sweat.
No, it's cold duck. And finally, a traditional dish in New Zealand, colonial goose, is a boned shoulder or leg of which meat stuffed with herbs?
They eat their own...
No, I don't think they would. They're endangered.
Lamb, maybe. Lamb.
Just go with
Lamb.
There's no other meat in New Zealand, is there? Right, 10 points for this. Give the chemical symbol that comes next in this sequence, N-O-F-N-E and...
Trinity Freeland.
Na.
Correct, yes, the elements. It's only just around 4 minutes ago, and there are 15 points at stake for these bonuses. They're on scales. Which Scottish university gives its name to a scale published in 1974 designed to assess the depth and duration of coma and impaired consciousness?
Glasgow.
Correct. The Torino scale runs from 0 to 10 and indicates the degree of potential threat from what form of hazard?
Meteorite.
Meteorite or asteroid or similar impact. Although for all normal purposes it runs from 0 to 12, which scale was extended to 17 in 1944 to deal with conditions such as tropical cyclones?
What is it? Is it Fukushima or something? No, that's just tornadoes. I can't remember what it's called.
Bearing scale.
No, it's the Beaufort scale. 10 points for this. Answer as soon as your name is called. The English name of which East Mediterranean capital is an anagram of a common one-word translation of the Latin imperative festina?
Trinity Tornoshek Zorko.
Athens?
Correct. These bonuses, Trinity College, are on a medieval chronicler. History of the Kings of Britain is a pseudo-historical work by which British chronicler appointed Bishop of St Asaph in 1152.
Geoffrey of Monmouth.
Geoffrey of Monmouth?
Correct. Geoffrey of Monmouth described the settlement of Britain by Brutus, the great-grandson of which Trojan hero?
Aeneas.
Correct. Who's described in a later work by Geoffrey of Monmouth as a king and prophet to the proud people of the South Welsh he gave laws, and to the chieftains he prophesied the future?
St David. St David or King Arthur? King Arthur.
No, it's Merlin. 2.5 minutes ago, 10 points for this. Answer as soon as you buzz. Name 2 of the 3 largest moons in the solar system.
Trinity Tornoge Exorco.
Ganymede and Titan.
Yeah, the other one's Callisto. So another set of bonuses for you, Trinity College. They're on a chemical process. The chemist Fritz Haber won the Nobel Prize in 1918 for his method of synthesizing which compound gas from hydrogen and nitrogen?
Ammonia.
Correct. Haber's method is often named after him. And which industrial chemist who translated it into a large-scale, high-pressure process?
Bosch.
Correct. The Haber process initially used as a catalyst either uranium or which rare, dense platinum metal?
It's iron now. But
Titanium?
I don't know.
Titanium?
No, it's osmium. 10 points for this. What 3-letter word did Ambrose Bierce define as affected with a high degree of intellectual independence?
SOS McKean.
But.
Nope.
Trinity Tornoge Exorco.
Cat.
No, it's mad. 10 points for this. Then must you speak of one that loved not wisely but too well.
Trinity Ridley.
Othello.
Othello is correct, yes. Your bonuses this time are on poetry in the 1850s, Trinity College. Sonnets from the Portuguese in 1850 and Aurora Leigh in 1856 are works by which British poet?
Elizabeth Barrett Browning.
Correct. The 1855 Song of Hiawatha is a work by which New England poet?
Henry Wadsworth Longfellow.
Correct. First published in 1857, Les Fleurs du Mal is a collection by which French poet?
Baudelaire.
Correct. 10 points for this. What is the northernmost of the sea areas used in the UK in the Met Office?
SOS McKean.
Southeast Iceland.
Correct. Bonuses this time SOS are linked by a name. King Harold II, killed at the Battle of Hastings in 1066, was also known by what patronymic?
Godwinson.
Correct. The social reformer William Godwin was married in 1797 to which feminist author? Come on.
Pass.
It's Mary Wollstonecraft. And finally, Godwin Austen, the second highest mountain in the world, is also known by what alphanumeric designation?
K2.
Correct. Another starter question now. The adjective phrenic refers to what part of the human body that takes
Trinity Tornoge Exorco.
The skull.
No, you lose 5 points. That takes the form of a thin, membranous, dome-shaped muscle. Come on, one of you buzz, sir.
SOS Weber.
Diaphragm?
Diaphragm is correct, yes. And at the gong, SOAS, having just broken 100, have 105. And Trinity College, Cambridge, have 280. Well, SOAS, you're going to have to come back and play again if you want to get through to the semi-finals. Many congratulations to you, Trinity. You go through to the semis. You're the first team to qualify so far. 280, another very impressive score from you. I hope you can join us next time for another quarter-final match. But until then, it's goodbye from the School of Oriental and African Studies.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Just maintaining the niceties, you know. And it's goodbye from Trinity College, Cambridge.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.